Good morning, DePauw. It has been a beautiful week on campus.
Yes, it has, and we're excited to bring you some campus news. I'm Haley.
And my name is Katie, and you're watching The Source.
It's Bell Week on campus, and school pride is at an all-time high. Tomorrow is the Monon Bell Classic game, and will kick off at 1:07 p.m. The 127th matchup between the Tigers and Little Giants has been long awaited since COVID canceled their last game.
Many students are very excited for this game. We encourage all who attend to practice sportsmanship and stay safe during this monumental game. The Monon Bell tickets are also completely sold out. This news broke out onto campus Tuesday, leaving some students scrambling.
If you were unable to claim a ticket, there are a few other options to view the game. ICS Sport Network will be broadcasting the game live, and our very own sports director, Taylor Richardson, will be calling the game live. So tune in to WGRE 91.5 to catch this broadcast.
The DePauw football team also claimed the NCAC Division III title this past week as they topped Oberlin, putting the campus and the team in a high spirits going into Saturday's game.
In other news, Stevie Baker Watson sent out a reminder that all students are required to provide proof of the annual flu shot.
The DePauw Health Department is still offering flu shots, so make sure you go make your appointment. I would now like to hand it over to Drew Cosgray, who sat down with Chris Maltby to discuss his podcast and more.
Hello, Tiger fans. I'm here with DePauw student Chris Maltby, a junior here at DePauw University, who is also the founder of the multimedia company BearedDown in Chicago, Illinois, covering the Chicago Bears. So, Chris, thank you so much for being here with me.
Absolutely, Drew. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so, I saw that it was founded in 2018 with you and your two best friends. So, if you could kind of tell me and walk me through how this whole company started and how it became such a huge thing with over 20,000 followers combined on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Could you kind of tell me the story of BearedDown?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am fortunate enough to be a part of a family that's Bears season ticket holders. So I've been going to Bears games since I was 5 years old. I've grown up at Soldier Field where the Bears play in the city right there on the lake. And obviously growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, I'm friends with kids who are fans of the team as well. So it started off back in 2018, as you said, when me and a couple buddies made some fan pages on Instagram to cover the team. And we said, hey, we might as well expand on this and start talking about it and getting our voices out there and actually having a name for ourselves rather than being behind this Instagram screen name. So we've been doing it since 2018, and it's really taken off.
Yeah, so when you guys started this, you guys had you had a vision of what you wanted. But when did it really hit home with you guys that, like, wow, like, this is big, like, this is taken off?
I would say during COVID, we were really on and off for our first couple of years, and doing it weren't as motivated as we should have been. And for some reason, we really just got into it when we had so much free time during the pandemic. Yeah. And everyone that's out there that has started to listen to us now also had a ton of free time. So that's really when we blew off, and I was like, okay, we've got something going here.
That's awesome. So how would you describe the process of going about, finding stories and, like, what to do your podcast over? How many times a week do you do your guys' podcast and such, airing out? Because obviously we live in the same house here on campus, and I hear you in room 5 doing the podcast. How many times a week would you say did you guys go and dive into this podcast?
I'd say it could be anywhere between 3 and 7 times a week. Yeah. If there's games, obviously, there's a lot more to cover, and depending on when that game is it a Thursday night football game? Is it at a noon slot on Sunday? Is it Monday night? But, you have to do some research and differentiate your stories. We bring on a lot of journalists, former players and stuff, so it's a lot of fun.
So speaking of former players and players, who are some players that you have talked to from the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I think one of the best I've ever talked to, it never actually panned out, but it's a good story, is I was talking to Devin Hester before, and you know him because he returned a kickoff in the Super Bowl against the Colts in 2006.
Bitter memories of that.
Yeah, but Devin Hester was a great one that didn't end up panning out, but just great to talk to someone like that. Best guest we've ever had on, though, in terms of former player, there's a long snapper named Patrick Manley. He's the longest tenured Bear of all time. Yeah. He'll be up in Canton in the Hall of Fame one day. He came on and talked to us for like an hour and a half, and it's one of the best conversations I've ever had.
That's incredible. So obviously, as you know, and not that you guys know, but my best friend is from Oklahoma. And I went there this summer, and we were hanging out with his best friends, and they brought up, they're like, yeah, there's this guy in Chicago that we listen to, Chris Maltby on BearedDown. We're like, and Beck and we were like, oh my gosh, like, you know that? So, like, how does it feel to know that your podcast is truly going out across the country as far as in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, the Bears have been around for about 100 years, so their history runs deep just in terms of being very diehard fans. So it doesn't shock me that there are fans out there. I've had people that my little sister goes to high school with say stuff to me over the summer when they see me back home. So it's super cool to be getting recognition all over the place, and I'm glad that we're able to do it on as big of a platform as we are, and we're so young and are only going to continue to keep improving.
Yeah, that's incredible, and I can't emphasize how excited I am to see the legacy that you guys leave, because I mean you guys are doing this at such a young age. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank you so much for coming out here and talking with us and telling you about this story, which I think is incredibly unique and exciting. And like I said, I cannot wait to see where it takes off, and I'm sure DePauw University cannot wait to see where a student of theirs is doing such an incredible thing like this. So once again, Chris Maltby, founder of BearedDown, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Drew. That will do it for this episode. Have fun, Monon Bell weekend. I'm Haley.
And I'm Katie, and you're watching The Source.